Welcome to Kids Academy.
Hello everyone. Let's open the worksheet. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. You can find the link to this app in comments below. All right, so the worksheet that we have today is called Character Adjectives. I love adjectives because those are the really juicy words that we use to describe things. So let's look over here. It says, circle all of the words that describe positive character traits. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at all of these options and we're going to decide which one of these adjectives are positive, okay, or good, all right? So here we go. Let's look at the first one. The first one is selfish, and selfish means that you only think of yourself. Is that a good thing? No, that's probably not a good thing. We want to think of others, so we're not going to circle that one. The next one is optimistic. Optimistic means you're always positive, you're always thinking of the good things, you're usually thinking that things are going to go well. So optimistic is a positive character trait, okay? So we're going to circle that one. The next one is greedy. Greedy means that you always want more. Is that nice? No, we usually need to be grateful for the things that we have and not always want more. So that one's not a good one. Let's go to the next one. The next one is funny. The next one is a good one. Funny is definitely positive. Funny means that you're fun and that you're silly sometimes and people laugh at you, but usually when you're making jokes or things like that. So funny is a good thing. So we're going to circle funny. That's a good positive trait. Okay, the next one is happy. Of course, we know that happy is good. Happy is positive. So we're going to circle happy. Nice job. The next one is rude. Is rude positive? Rude means that you usually aren't very nice or respectful. So that one's not very good. We're not going to circle that adjectives. Let's go down to the next one. The next one is dishonest. Dishonest means basically that you're not truthful or you tell lies, and that's not a good trait, so we're not going to circle that one. The next one is friendly, which means you're usually outgoing and you make friends with people, so that's a good positive one. We're going to circle that one. Down to cheerful. Cheerful usually means you're in a good mood or you're happy. We consider that positive, so we're going to circle that one. Okay, the next one is angry. Now, everybody gets mad every now and then, but angry usually means you're mad all the time or you're a really mad person, so we're not going to circle angry. That one's not a good one. The last one is generous, and I love that word generous. That means that you're very giving, you give to others. That's a good thing, so we're going to circle that one. So we've circled all of our positive character traits: funny, optimistic, happy, friendly, cheerful, and generous. And we learned lots of great adjectives today. So great job. Bye.
Hello, boys and girls. It's Teacher Mike here. Today we're going to be looking at a worksheet called Antonym Mix-Up. Antonyms are words with the opposite meaning, like open and close. Opposite means the furthest thing from that word, meaning the most different thing. Let's read the directions and get started right away. Correct the sentences below by replacing each highlighted word with its antonym. Okay, let's read the first sentence. The octopus lives above the sea. Does an octopus really live above the sea? What's the opposite of above in this sentence? Let's look at our answer choices and decide. What's the most different than above, or the opposite than above? First answer choice is near. Near is not the opposite of above. Near means close to the top, and that's not the opposite of above. Under. Under the sea. I think this might be the right answer, because the octopus doesn't live above the sea. The octopus lives under the sea. But let's try our answer choice, our last answer choice, just to be sure. The octopus lives on the sea. On is kind of like above. There are similar meanings in this sentence, and that's not the opposite. In this sentence, the opposite, or the antonym, is under. Let's read the sentence now. The octopus lives under the sea. That sounds right. Let's look at the second example. Penguins live in a hot climate. Do penguins really live in a hot climate? I can't picture a penguin on the beach like in this picture. Let's look at our 3 answer choices and see what is the opposite or the antonym of hot. First answer choice is warm. Warm is pretty similar to hot. Those 2 words are not antonyms or opposites. Tropical also means like nice weather. Again, that's close to hot. That doesn't mean the opposite. And our last answer choice is cold. When I think of the total opposite of hot, I think of being cold. Cold is the antonym or the opposite of hot. Let's reread this sentence with the correct word. Penguins live in a cold environment. Let's look at our 3rd example. 3rd sentence reads, the cheetah is very slow, and the highlighted word is slow. What's the opposite or the antonym of slow? Our first answer choice is fast. I think we got that one right away. But let's read all the other answer choices just to be sure. Long. Being long or tall or short or fat or skinny has nothing to do with being slow or fast. And our last answer choice is dangerous. Yes, cheetahs are dangerous, but is that really the opposite of slow? No. The opposite of slow is fast, the first answer choice. Let's reread that sentence with the correct word. The cheetah is very fast. Our last sentence is about rabbits. It reads, rabbits always eat meat. Do rabbits always eat meat? What do rabbits eat? Doesn't matter. What's the opposite of always? Let's read our 3 answer choices. Our first answer choice is often. Often isn't as much as always, but it still means you do something a lot. Often is not the opposite or the antonym. Usually. Usually means you do it not as much as often. You don't do it always, but you do it sometimes. And our last answer choice is never. And never is the complete opposite or the most different thing than always. Never is the antonym for always. Let's reread this sentence with the correct answer choice. Rabbits never eat meat. Remember, boys and girls, an antonym is the opposite or the most different thing from the word that you are reading. Thanks for watching, boys and girls. We'll see you next time.
Okay, so we've got on our worksheet today common prefixes re, pre, and miss. A prefix is added at the beginning of a word to change its meaning and to form a new word. So let's look here. We've got pre, which means before. So for example, preview means you get to watch something or you view it before you would normally see it. So like when you go to a preview of a movie, that means you get to watch it before it normally comes out. Miss means wrongly. So for example, you misunderstood or you wrongly understood something. The last one is re, which means again. The example is to rebuild. So like let's say we were to build it and it were fall down and we built it again, that would be to rebuild or to do it again. Look at each picture. Check the correct prefix to complete each word. So we've got number 1. It says your shoes are blank matched. Are they pre-matched, mismatched, or rematched? So let's think about what each one of those prefixes mean. The first one means pre, which means before matched, mismatch, which would mean wrongly matched, or rematch, which would mean matched again. Let's look at the picture over here to see if it can give us a clue. Well, look at this little guy down here. It looks like his shoes, he's got one red shoe and one green shoe, so that would mean that it's wrongly matched or mismatched. So missed would be our correct answer here, okay? Let's go down to number 2. Number 2 is the baker blank heated the oven. Did he preheat or preheated the oven, misheated the oven, or reheated the oven? Now, pre or re sounds right to me, but I'm not sure which one it is. So let's kind of look at the picture for help. It looks like our baker over here has maybe a pie or a pizza or something that he's wanting to put in the oven over here. So in order to heat that up, he has to heat it up to a certain degree or temperature in order to cook it. So that would mean that he would need to heat it up before he actually starts to cook it. The baker blank heated the oven. Well, which one means before? Pre means before, so he preheated the oven. So we're going to put a check right over here. So he warmed it up before he actually started to cook it. Okay, the last one says Ava blank placed all the buttons on her dress. She pre-placed, misplaced, or replaced. Now, I bet that misplaced or replaced both sound like real words, but we're going to use the picture over here to help us understand what she's doing. It looks like Ava has got a sewing machine, so it looks like she's trying to fix something on her dress, and she's got her buttons right over here. So pre-placed means she placed them on there before, and that probably doesn't make sense. Misplaced would probably mean that she wrongly placed them or she lost them. And it doesn't look like she lost them. She's got them right over here. So I'm going to guess it's replaced. Replaced means again. She probably had a dress and the buttons fell off and she had to replace them or sew them on again. That makes sense from our picture. So we're going to check right over here next to re. Ava replaced all the buttons on her dress. That makes sense. So you guys did a great job. Awesome. Bye-bye. Hello, we have a new worksheet today about sight words. And sight words are words that we need to learn just by sight. Sometimes it's not always the rule that it goes by, but there are a few rules and we're going to be talking about them today. So what we're going to be doing is it says, check the correct spelling of each picture to complete the sentence below. And in all honesty, sometimes it just takes practice for us to see a word many times before we're going to know what the correct spelling is. But sometimes there are clues or tricks to help us. So let's go through each one of these. The first sentence here says, my blank loves the holidays. And here's a picture of a family. We can tell they're a family because it looks like it's got a mom and a dad and maybe a sister and a baby and even a pet here. So we're trying to figure out which is the correct way to spell family. Let's talk about each of our options. The first example is this, Famile. And let's sound this out and listen to how this would be pronounced. Family. Family. Does that sound correct? It's really close, but this sounds kind of funny because it's pronounced differently. So listen to it again. Family. We've got two E's that are stuck together, okay? And that does make an E sound, but in this case, usually double E's are not going to make the E sound unless they're together in the middle of the word. Usually when it's the end of the word, it's going to be family, like this. The Y here makes an E sound because it's at the end of a word, and this is actually our second spelling here, family. The last one is this one. This is familia. Familia. This is not even sounding like the word family. So we know that that's not the right answer. We also know that this one is not the right answer because usually those two E's make the E sound when they're stuck in the middle of the word. So this is the correct spelling of the word family. So we're going to come over here and we're going to check family, the one in the middle. Okay, let's go on to the next one. The next one, number 2, says, the cowboy loves to ride his, and here's a picture of it. What is that a picture of? A horse, right? The cowboy loves to ride his horse. So we're looking for the correct spelling of the word horse. Let's write out all of these examples. H-O-A-R-S-E is the first one. The next one is H-O-R-S-E, and the last one is H-O-R-E-S. So let's listen to how each one of these would be pronounced phonetically, or the way that it sounds. So let's go through this. Horse, horse. That sounds pretty close to the word. This one might be it. What about this one here? Horse, horse. Is that correct? That one sounds pretty correct too. They sound about the same. What about the last one? Whores. Is that right? Whores. Nope, that's not correct. Here, the E makes the O say its name, so there's an emphasis on the O. Horse, and the E is silent. So this would not be the correct way. It sounds very close to the same, but the emphasis on the O. So this one is not the right answer. Let's go back to these two again. We've got OR and OAR. This is ORS, and this is OR. This is a longer sound. Do we say horse or do we say horse? We say horse, don't we? This is the short way of doing it. OR makes an OR sound. This is the correct way to spell that word. So this one is not correct. And this one sounds very close to the same. So this is just one of those words that you're going to have to memorize and get better at. That's why we call them sight words, because we should know them by sight. So it's HORSE, horse. We're going to come over here and we're going to check that one right here. Okay? Now let's go on to the next one. Their blank is very big. And I'm not sure, this looks like a building, but let's see what it looks like. It looks like, well, from what I'm reading down here, it looks like it's going to be the word house. But we have to figure out the correct way of spelling house. So let's write out once again the three examples. We've got HOSE, we've got HOWSE, and we've got HOUSE. So we're going to go through these phonetically, which means how they sound, and see which one would be correct that way. So we've got hose, because the E makes the O say its name, and then the E is silent, so this would be pronounced hose. Is that correct? That's not how we say house, so that's not the right one. Let's go to the next one. And the vowel sound here is OW, which makes an ow sound. So this is pronounced house. That sounds right. That might be the right answer. Let's go to the next one. The next example here of the vowel sound is OU, which also makes an ow sound. So this is going to be house. That one also sounds correct. So on this one, we can't tell which one is correct because OW and OU both make the ow sound. So now we need to use logic. The trick here is that OW makes the ow sound in words like cow at the end of a word, but when it's at the beginning or the middle of the word, like house, we use OU. So for this one, we're going to need to use OU because it's at the middle of the word. So this is the correct spelling of the word house. So let's come down here and let's find that again, HOUSE. And we're going to go ahead and put a check right next to that one. Okay, good job. We've got one last one to do here. The next one says, do you like to something basketball? And it looks like from the choices, it's going to be play. Do you like to play basketball? So let's come over here and write out once again our choices. We've got PLA, we've got PLAY, and we've got PLAEY. Okay, so let's sound them out first. This first one would be pronounced pla, pla. Do you like to play basketball? No, that's not a word, is it? That doesn't work because the A here, because there's no E, there's no Y, there's nothing else that follows it, this would be pronounced like an A sound, pla, and that's not what we want, so that's not correct. The next one, this would be pronounced play, play. Does that sound correct? Yes, it does. That might be the right answer. Let's go down to the next one. This one is play. Also, it sounds like play. So both of these sound correct. This is an example of one that you're just going to need to learn. In this example, this is the correct answer, P-L-A-Y. Y after a vowel makes the same sound as the A. It's kind of like the E at the end of a word. It makes it say its name. So this is pronounced play, and this is the correct way of spelling it. The E-Y is a different way. This is not the correct way. This is just one of those that you're going to need to remember. So it is P-L-A-Y. So we're going to put a check on the very last one. Great job. Those sight words can be really hard, but when you take practice and you see these words over and over again and you learn the correct answer, you're going to get it every time. It just takes a lot of practice. So make sure you're practicing those sight words. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye, friends.
Hello
welcome back. Today we have a new worksheet, and the name of our worksheet is called Christmas Maze Sight Words. And before we get started with this, I want to talk about sight words for just a second. Sight words are words that are very weird because they do not follow the rules of our English language. They kind of follow their own rules, and so they're words that we just have to memorize or practice over and over again until we get them into our memory and we know the correct way of spelling them. So let me give you a quick example of a sight word, and let me write it out on the board here. Here is an example of the word said, like my mother said, go to bed, okay? Here's an example of the word said, and this is an example of a sight word because said does not follow all of the rules. It does some, but it doesn't follow all the rules. So for example, the S in said makes the S sound, so that is correct. The D in said makes the D sound, so that is also correct. But the part that is very strange about this word is A and I. A and I make the E sound in this word. So if I was trying to think about the word said, I might spell it like this, said. But in this example, said is spelled correctly like this with an A-I, and it does not follow the rules of the English language. It's crazy that A and I make the E sound. So this is just a word that we're going to have to remember how to spell. And the way that I like to remember how to spell sight words is to practice them many times, to see them in text, or to say them. And one thing that I like to do is practice or air write my words so that it gets into my physical memory and to my brain, and I also like to hear it. So let's go ahead and let's practice spelling the word said. S-A-I-D. We're going to air write it. Let's do it again. Are you ready? S-A-I-D. Said. That's how we're going to remember our words today. So let's go ahead and get started with our worksheet, and we're going to start with the word house, okay? And this is an example of a sight word that doesn't really follow the rules. Let's write out house in a couple of different ways. H-O-U-S-E or H-O-W-S-E, okay? And let's look at this. Which way do you think is the correct way of spelling house? What I like to do with the word is to start and listen to the word and the way it sounds phonetically. Phonetically means the way it sounds. So let's start and see if we can figure it out phonetically. We've got house or house. Both of them phonetically sound the same. But the difference between these two words is OU and OW. And there's just a rule or a trick whether or not you use OU or OW. And this is the trick. If the ow sound is at the beginning or middle of the word, we always use OU. If it's a word where the ow sound is at the end of the word, like for the word cow, it's going to be OW at the end of a word. So here in house is the ow sound at the beginning, middle, or end of the word. House. It's at the middle of the word, right? So we are going to use OU. So this is the correct way of spelling house, and that's actually our first word right here is house. So we're going to start right here on house. Then we have an option of going to snow or to laugh, and let's look and see which one is going to be the correct way. Let's write both words, snow, S-N-O-W, or we could write it like this, S-N-O-W-E, or laugh. Let's think of two ways to spell laugh, L-A-G-H or L-A-U-G-H, okay? And most of the time I told you that sight words don't follow the phonetic rules. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but most of the time they're not going to. So sometimes the one that you think sounds correctly is not going to be the correct way. So let's look at this. We've got snow, snow, or snow, because the E would make the O say its name. So which one looks like it would be correct? This one right here, right? But that's actually not the correct answer because it's a sight word. It doesn't follow the rules. So this is actually the correct way of spelling snow. What about laugh? L-A-G-H. The G-H would make a f sound, and a, l, a, f Does that sound correct? Yes, it does. What about this one? Off. Does that make the correct sound? Laugh. You might say laugh, but most of us would say laugh, right? But actually, this is the correct answer because the A and the U are a diphthong, which means they're two letters that you put them together to make a sound. So this is actually the correct answer, L-A-U-G-H. But on both of these, we just have to practice them and put them into our memory so that we know that it is the correct way. So let's go ahead and practice both of these the correct way of spelling them. So get your air fingers ready and we're going to write them out. Here we go. S-N-O-W, snow. Let's do it again. S-N-O-W, snow. Let's do laugh. Are you ready? Here we go. L-A-U-G-H, laugh. L-A-U-G-H, laugh. So which one are we going to do here? Are we going to go to this one or are we going to go to this one? Which is the correct way? S-N-O-W is the correct way of spelling snow. So we're going to go over to snow. Then we've got letter and children. Okay, let's do this again. Let's write out a couple of ways of spelling these. Let's do C-H-I-L-D-R-E-N, or let's do, I see also over here, here's another way of spelling children. Let's write out that way. This is C-H-I-L-R-D-E-N. Okay, and then what was our other word? Children, or we could go to letter, L-E-T-E-R, L-E-T-E-R, or L-E-T-T-E-R, okay? And let's start first and see if one of these we can figure out phonetically. So let's look at children and sound it out. Children, children, or children, children. Well, which one sounds correctly? This one sounds correctly, and in this case, this is the correct way of spelling children. C-H-I-L-D-R-E-N, okay? And then over here, we've got letter, and both of them, letter and letter, sound the same. So which one is the correct way? We just have to memorize it. It's actually this way, L-E-T-T-E-R. Those two T's work together to make the T sound. So let's practice both of these and air write them so that we can put them to our memory, okay? We've got children, C-H-I-L-D-R-E-N, and then letter L-E-T-T-E-R. And I did two T's, did you see that? And crossed them with one line. Okay, so those are the correct ways of spelling those words. So let's go over here. We've got children or letter. Which one is the correct way? This one right here, for children, okay? And then we're gonna go down here to laugh. That is the only way we can go, is straight down. But do you remember when we talked about laugh, how the A and the U are a diphthong and they make the ah sound in this example? So I'm going to go down to laugh, L-A-U-G-H, L-A-U-G-H, laugh. And then I can go to letter, L-E-T-E-R, or letter, L-E-T-T-E-R. Which one did we say was the correct way of doing it? L-E-T-E-R or L-E-T-T-E-R? T-T, right, with the two T's. So we're going to go down to this one, and you just had to memorize it, so great job. Then we can go to light or window. Let's write these out in a couple of different ways. Light, L-I-G-H-T, or let's think about maybe how it would sound, L-I-T-E, okay? And then window, W-I-N-D-O-W, or maybe W-I-N-D-O-U, okay? So let's start with light first. Light. Let's look at both of these. L-I-G-H-T. In this case, the G-H is like a diphthong and they make the sound. So light, light, and light. Okay? This would look like it would make the I sound, right? Because there's nothing else over here that shows us that it would make the long I sound. But this one, the E at the end, would make the I say its name. So to me, it looks like here that this would be the correct spelling, but it's actually going to be this one right here. So this is just one of those words that we have to put to our memory. So let's go ahead and practice this so we can get our physical memory and our sound memory and our brain memory to remember this. L-I-G-H-T. L-I-G-H-T, light. And then window down here, let's look at which way to spell window. And do you remember that I talked about the rule when we were talking about house, about how to know whether to use O-W or O-U? And actually, you know what's strange here is both of these sounds would make the ow sound, which doesn't follow the rule, does it? Window, we don't say that, do we? It would be window. So neither of these actually look like or sound phonetically correct, but there is that rule to help us remember, is it O-W or O-U? And do you remember what I said? If it's at the beginning or middle of the word, it's O-U, and if it's at the end of a word, it's O-W. So in this case, window or dow, I guess, but this is at the end of the word. So this is the correct way of spelling it, right? So window is spelled W-I-N-D-O-W. So let's go ahead and practice this. W-I-N-D-O-W. All right, so let's go back over here. That was a lot of practice. So which one are we going to? Are we going to light, L-I-G-H-T, or window, W-I-N-D-O-U? It's going to be light, L-I-G-H-T. This is the correct way of spelling it. So let's go on over to light this way. And then we have a choice of window with O-W, or we have snow with an E at the end. And we actually have both of these over on our board. So let's refer back to our board. Which was the correct way of spelling window? The O-W, which is what is over here. So this is probably going to be right. And the snow, let's make sure, S-N-O-W-E. We said that that sounds right phonetically, but that's not correct. Did you remember how to spell snow? Let's practice snow one more time to get it in our memory. S-N-O-W is the correct way of spelling snow. And here it's got an E, so that's not right, even though it sounds right. So I'm going to go over here to window with the O-W at the end of the word. And then we've got the word carry and carry. Both of these sound the same. Phonetically, they sound the same. But in this case, the correct way of spelling carry is C-A-R-R-Y. There's two R's together. So this is not the correct way. The correct way is with two R's. Those two R's work together, kind of like in the word letter, how the two T's work together. So let's practice air writing that to put it to our memory. C-A-R-R-Y, carry. Let's do it one more time. C-A-R-R-Y. So we're going to come over here and we're going to go to the correct way of spelling carry. Then we've got night, okay? And night is a lot like the word light. Actually, it's kind of the same here. Even though light does not sound or looks like it should follow the rules at all, that is the same way with night. The correct way of spelling night is not N-I-T-E. That might be how we would think it would be spelled, but it's N-I-G-H-T. N-I-G-H-T, and it's like the word light. They kind of rhyme, but both of them don't follow the rule, right? So let's practice that out in the air. N-I-G-H-T, night. N-I-G-H-T, night. So we're going to go on down to night, okay? And then we've got carry with one R, or we've got bell, okay? Carry or bell. And in this case, we said that carry is not spelled with one R, so we know that bell is correct. And this one, actually, I think this looks and sounds correct, bell. But you might think that it has one L, but in this case, it has two. So let's practice that one more time. B-E-L-L with two L's. Then we've got the word fire. Okay, and we can only go to this word, and that is the correct spelling of the word fire, F-I-R-E, fire. And this one actually follows the rule because the E makes the I say its name, fire. So we're going to go on over to the word fire, and then we could either go back up to carry or we could go to box. Which do you think is the correct answer? We've talked about carry many times. It's not with one R, so that's still not the right one. Box, B. ox. That one actually sounds phonetically correct. So we're gonna go right over to the word box, and we just got to our finish line, and Santa was able to get the presents to the chimney. Great job today. You guys worked so hard on your sight words. Sight words take so much practice, but I am so proud of you. Awesome job. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye-bye.
Subscribe to our channel to stay updated on new videos. Find links to our apps in the comments below.